Hello. So we're going to be talking about what we're putting in as page 47 in our ISF, solving equations using multiplication or division. And we remember that this is going to be associated with our adding and subtracting. So let me modify this a little bit. There we go. I'm going to highlight multiplication and division. Put in multiplication and division symbols, just to draw attention to it being different than the other page. There are many similarities, however. This is still the vertical flow map, so you're going to do step 1, then step 2, and then step 3. But to undo multiplication, the inverse operation is thinking, what do you think it is? Yes, you're right, division. And then the inverse operation of division is multiplication. So we're going to do the inverse operation on both sides in order to keep our equation equal. So we're going to start off with a couple of examples. And we're going to subdivide again our example area into two parts. So here will be the multiplying, and here will be the dividing. And again, these are structural support so that you'll be strong for all future math classes. Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, you have some equation solving. So the first problem I'm going to give to you is 5c equals negative 20. We remember the integer rules like we always have done. But for multiplication and division, we talked about the nickname of frosting. That only happens after adding and subtracting. And you'll see when we are able to stack the two steps, we always undo addition and subtraction first, then we would have the long line of frosting, and then multiplication and division would be below that long line of the frosting. So you can think about it as two layers of a cake. So for multiplication, you're just going to show two short fraction bars. When you have a variable, the c, and a coefficient, the 5, right next to each other, that means to multiply. So the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. I'm going to put it a little bit higher. But that's step 2. When you multiply by 5 and divide by 5, these two cancel out and you're left with just c. Oh no, I forgot the 4 steps. Sorry. Number 1 was draw a straight line to separate the equation into a left side and a right side. You guys are probably worried about that. Let me fix that right away. Okay, then we divide by 5 on both sides. I love the multiplication problems like this. They're just simple to me and I love just dividing on both sides and it's easy for me. 20 divided by 5 is 4. But when you divide and you have one negative, it means the answer is going to be negative. So negative 4. Now, according to our steps, we did draw a straight line to separate the equation into a left and a right side. We undid the multiplication by dividing on both sides. We gave our solution statement as c equals negative 4. Now it's time to check our solution. We substitute back into the original equation. So the first line of the check is the question. 5c equals negative 20. Then two things are going to change. The c is going to be negative 4. And we put a baby question mark on top of the equal sign. Bless you. But if we put the 5 here and the equals and the negative 20, that look is not right. This looks like 5 minus 4, but we really know that a coefficient and a variable need to be multiplied. So we're going to put the negative 4 inside parentheses. So it shows 5 times negative 4. 5 times negative 4. Well, 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. And you get that wonderful reflexive property again where it looks like a mirror. Negative 20 equals negative 20. And now we put the check mark, verifying that our answer of c equals -4 is a solution for this equation. We plugged it in, it made everything work beautifully, so c equals -4 is correct. Okay, now for division. The problem is a divided by 8 equals 11. We're going to show division with a fraction bar. I'm not going to forget to draw my line down this time first. With division, I ask you to do one extra step. I want you to write the question again. And the reason why we write the question again is because later on, when we're doing checking and other things, it'll make the problem too busy if you try to do too much in one step. And that's where students tend to get confused. So if we write the question again, then you're able to look at it and see the original problem clearly and then see what you did as your next step. Now I'm covering this other side. What are they doing to the variable a? Well, they are, do you know? Yes, they're dividing by 8. So the inverse operation of division is multiplication. So we're going to multiply by 8. And one way, just to be consistent, I multiply by 8 on both sides using parentheses. It's just a process that I've seen not confuse me. Some people put dots or x's. Well, the x's could get confused with a variable. The dots could get confused with a decimal point. But if you have it just in parentheses, then it seems like it's less confusing. So when you multiply by 8 and divide by 8, those two cancel out, and you're left with just a equals, equal sign on the line, and then 11 times 8 is 88. Okay, it's time for the check. First line of the check is the question. Remember, you're going to have a quiz on this on the block, so be ready. The next thing, we substitute in for the a what we believe a equals, 88. And we put the baby question mark on top of the equal sign because we're not sure yet that this is actually true. Until we do the math, we're not sure. But now we're doing the math. 88 divided by 8 is 11. 11 equals 11. Check. And you're done. Thank you.